Hello and welcome to episode 48 of the Wisdom from the Akasha podcast. My name is Susie. I am your host and I am an Akashic Records teacher and practitioner. First of all, of course, I would like to say Happy New Year to you. We are now in 2025. If you are not feeling enthused and the New year, new me, let's set loads of resolutions narrative, please do not worry, you are not alone. We are still energetically very much in winter. You may still be allowing things to come to completion, which is what winter is about. You may feel the need to rest and relax, and you may start to feel the stirrings of what's to come in the year. But please do just go with what your energy is telling you, not what the date on the calendar says. I promise if you are feeling that way, as soon as the spring energy comes in, you are going to feel more energized and more enthused. So take the opportunity to rest if you need it. For today's episode, I want to cover the second level of practitioner training that I offer, which is level 3. I have already covered level 2, which is the first level of practitioner training, which is you becoming a qualified Akashic Records reader. I will link that episode into the show notes so that if you're new to the podcast and maybe haven't come across that episode, you can go back and have a listen to that. But today I want to focus on the level 3 training, which is practitioner level healing and clearing. So it's energy work in the Akashic Records. And the reason I'm doing that today is because my next level 3 training is going to start on the 23rd of January. It's a similar format to level 2 in that it is 6 sessions split over 12 weeks where you are going to receive lots of very valuable practical information, support on your journey, and have it so that by the end of our 12-week period together that you are confidently offering Akashic Records healing and clearing as a service to your clients. If you aren't sure on what Akashic Records clearing is, I will as well put into the show notes a link to an episode where I go into more detail about the difference between Akashic readings and Akashic healings and clearing work. Today, I just want to give an overview of what we cover in level 3 for those of you who are considering taking this additional practitioner module. Some of you will only feel the calling to read people's Akashic records, and that is completely okay. But for some of you, and I certainly see this a lot with my level 2 students, there is the call not to just do the readings, but also to do this profound, deep healing and clearing work that the Akashic Records has available. If you haven't trained with me personally as an Akashic Records practitioner, you're maybe an Akashic Records reader listening to this and you listen to this episode and you think, I really want to add this into the services that I offer to my clients, please do just drop me an email. There is nothing stopping you coming and joining the class at level 3. I just always like to get a feel for where you're at in your practitioner journey to see if there are any potential gaps, because I want you to be able to come into the training on an equal footing with my students. Most of the time that is completely okay. Clearing and healing in the Akashic Records is you working with the 7 energy layers of the body. A lot of the energy work and healing modalities and practices out there are only actually designed to deal with the first 3, sometimes the first 4 of those energy levels, whereas with Akashic Records clearing and healing, you're able to go into all 7 energy bodies. The reason that this is important is because in the outer layers of the energy bodies, you're going to find energetic stagnation from things like ancestral issues, karmic situations, cords, implants, these types of things. You can, of course, work on those 3 or 4 energy layers that other healing modalities work with as well, which tend to include more current life, energetic stagnation. You can absolutely do that through clearing, but clearing is designed to cover all 7 most healing modalities aren't. Clearing is a very intense process, so it is definitely not something that I would recommend you do every week or every 2 weeks. But clearing is amazing for when you get to a point where you feel stuck. You know that there is something more, something bigger than what is coming up for you in those first 3 layers, and you want to do that deeper work and that deeper transmutation. In the level 3 training, we of course go into the structure and the function of all of those 7 energy bodies in a lot of detail. This is you really getting to understand the light grid, what the light grid is, how it works, how it functions, and how you as an Akashic Records practitioner can assist the work that a client does through their light grid to help them really move past this energetic stagnation and move forward in their lives in alignment with their highest timeline. The process of clearing itself, from a practitioner perspective, is very much an investigation. The energy work is undertaken by the client's Akashic Records guides and the client's higher self. You're very much working in cooperation with them. They are the ones doing the work. What you are doing as a practitioner is you're going into a deep investigative process in the Akashic Records to be able to understand where this energetic stagnation has come from, what the client can do to help them move forward and transmute this for themselves, and really help the client to obtain that deep soul level perspective of what they need to do on their clearing, healing, and transmutation journey. So together we will go into a lot of detail about these 7 energy layers, the 7 primary chakras, which are very connected to these 7 energy bodies. We also talk a little bit about siddhis, because what will often happen for people when they start working with this deep healing and clearing modality is siddhis will start to appear. So we cover those so that you can know potentially what is coming up for your clients and how to help them through that. Of course, we also cover the practical how to do this. So we cover the pre-session protocol for you and your clients, how to prepare yourself and how to ensure your client is prepared for this, the process of undertaking this clearing and healing, and then also aftercare for the client and for yourself, so that you have all of the information that you need to be able to host these sessions in a way that is going to leave you feeling fulfilled and empowered, and the client feeling fulfilled and empowered. The last thing that the Akashic Records want is for you to start hosting and holding space for these sessions and then feeling energetically drained or worn out. That is not what they want. And if you follow the protocol, you're going to find that you can hold this space for these sessions and not end up energetically burning yourself out. We also go into detail about the different things that you're going to come across whilst you're doing your investigative work. Now, of course, this is not an exhaustive list. There are so many potentialities that you can come across in clearing, but there are also common themes, common wounds that people will have. And my job as a teacher for this is very much to teach you how to do that investigative work. So we cover those common themes that will come up and also where they are most likely to live. For example, most people, if they have karmic cords, most of the time they are connected to somewhere heart chakra down. It's very rare, although I have seen it, where cords are throat chakra and above. But we cover most things you're going to come across so that when you go into your practice sessions and you go into that investigative process, that you have a rough outline for what might come up. Of course, you then have to take exactly what the Akashic Records tells you is there, and that might come across as a surprise, like a cord in the third eye, for example. Absolutely what you go with. And during our time together, you will hear me say that that's the first thing that you listen to. The framework that I give you is this is the most common, this is the most likely for you to come across, but you have to be working with your Akashic Records to be the clearest channel to allow them to give you the information that you need during that investigative process. We do also cover the astral realm, the astral body, entity attachment, energetic protection in level 3 because at this time in our collective consciousness, a lot of people are going through the astral level of initiation, and it is very normal for people to have astral experiences or energetic stagnation from their experiences in the astral plane, especially those of you who are dual missioned. So we do cover that as well. We also cover soul fragmentation and soul retrieval in level 3 for you to be able to offer this as a service to your clients. So as you will see, level 3 is very comprehensive. There is lots of information in there. There is, of course, support from myself for the duration of the 12 weeks that we are training together. And my intention is always that by the end of the class, you're feeling confident and able, you've done your practice sessions, you know how to do your investigative process, which of course is going to be unique and individual to each of you, and that you're ready to offer this service to your clients. I hope that this episode has given you all of the information you need about level 3 if you've been looking at it perhaps and thinking, oh, I don't know if this is right for me. I hope that this has given you a lot more detail and information. If you have got questions about the class, always feel free to send me an email. For those of you who are new to the Akashic Records, you're new to the journey, and you're listening to this episode thinking that sounds great, but I haven't even begun yet, don't worry. Level 1 is starting in February. February the 4th, we get started on that one, and that is you learning how to work in your own Akashic Records. And in level 1, we cover you not only receiving information, but doing this healing and clearing work for yourself. So everything that I've talked about today in respect of the Practitioner program, where we're doing this, we're providing this as a service to others. In level 1, you get all of that to know how to do for yourself so that you can feel empowered to do this work for yourself as well. I will, of course, leave the links for level 3 to sign up in the show notes. I look forward to those of you who are going to be joining me on the 23rd of January. And if you aren't joining me this time round, that's completely okay. I look forward to seeing you next week for the next episode.